Welcome back to day 5 of our 5-day green card success training. I'm Attorney Ify. I'm your host for today. We're talking about 90 days plan after approval. What happens after you get your green card or you apply for your green card and now you're waiting. So what comes next? That's what we're talking about today. Come on in and invite your friends. It's going to be for the next 30 minutes. Let's get the rest of the group in here. Thank you all for waiting in the waiting rooms. And for those of you who joined us yesterday on the VIP session, thank you very much. It was a great time. We had lots of questions about the green card interview, and that was what we focused on the past couple of days, just getting the key documents and also making sure that you are prepared for your interview because that's where you get the best results. So welcome in. If you're just joining for the first time today, I'm going to walk you through the first 4 steps that every immigrant needs to succeed in their green card application. And if you're paying attention to the screen here, I'm going to show you all of that in a second on what that means. So yesterday we learned how to prepare and answer with confidence for your interview. And today we're looking at what happens after you file. Feel free to ask your questions while we're going through the topic for today, but I'll be able to answer as I see them come through. Welcome in from Maryland. Wow. DJ. All right. I'm in North Carolina in Charlotte. Let me know in the comments where you are. Everyone's watching from different states, different cities. We help clients nationwide, so we expect all of you all to join in here. All right. So what happens next after this application? Let me know in the comments if you're currently in the process of waiting. If you already filed the application and you're waiting, I want to know what phase you all are in right now, because the phase of your application will determine how you're going to apply the easy method I've been teaching you. So if you're just starting, you definitely need to start from step 1, which is examining your records. All right, that was the first thing we discussed on day 1, how to do a FOIA search. Those of you who came to the VIP session, you were able to learn the best websites to go to request your information from USCIS, CBP, any immigration basically office or wherever. You can check that out. So that's what we discussed on day 1. All right. And tonight, on the VIP session, those of you who missed will be able to ask questions and also create your 90-day plan for your success. All right. Filing is just one part of the process. All right. You need to be able to understand your restrictions or whatever is happening in your case, right? Moving forward versus just letting it sit there just because you filed. That's not the only thing. That's not the only thing that is going to be required here. So if you want success, total success, make sure that you're following these steps for your 90-day approval plan. So here are the 4 steps in the easy method. At the end of this training, you're going to have the complete system. I will make sure that you understand. If there's any part that you don't understand, I'll make sure we go over that again towards the end. But the easy method is examine your past records, assemble key documents, and sign, and verify. You need to make sure you have the right forms, the right fees, and everything else included. And then Y is the final step of getting your results. You yield positive results when you prepare for your interviews and you are sure about everything on your record. That wouldn't be a surprise to you. So following that easy step has gotten my clients over the years success in their green card application. So if you're currently going through your family immigration process, or maybe you're in the middle of doing this, you got an RFE or NOID, which stands for Notice of Intent to Deny, and not sure how to move forward from that, you can reach out to me. My number is on the screen. I help clients with answering those difficult letters and getting their success regardless. So just reach out to me. Let's find out how we can help you. Okay. So yielding results through your interview, very important part of the whole thing. And after you do all of that, if you don't make your 90-day plan, there's still a chance that your case will fall through the cracks because, surprise, surprise, you may not get approved at the interview, right? If you get called, a lot of people are getting called in 2025. There's no more waived like it used to be before. So if you get called, that does not necessarily mean that your case is going to be approved immediately, especially if you didn't plan ahead, if you didn't prepare. Okay, you might still get an RFE after an interview. So during this live today, we'll talk about how to respond to RFEs, the strategies that I've used with all my clients, and what works. Okay? I'm checking the comments to see if there's anyone saying stuff so I don't miss out. But like I said, towards the end, we'll have time for the Q&A. But I was seeing some things popping up here. Let me know where you're watching me from right now. I see someone from PH. Where's PH? Okay. Let me know. But, one thing I love about what we do is meeting people from all over the world, all over the states and everything like that. So having a 90-day plan, very important, so you can avoid any filing gaps, any delays, potential delays. If you're not keeping track of the time, you will get past the processing time and you won't realize. And with that being said, you can miss any deadlines or critical opportunities to strengthen your case. Like if they send you an RFE and you don't respond, they'll go ahead and make a decision on your case, which would likely be a denial, right? So if you're not responding to your RFEs, you're not keeping track of your case because you don't have the 90-day plan, you'll likely still get denied, even though your case was good to begin with. So you need all these steps in order to achieve success in this journey. It is a long journey. It can take anywhere from 2 to 5 years, really, if we're talking citizenship, because that's really the final step of your journey. Green card is just the one thing that you get first, and then you move on to your citizenship. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now that you're a permanent resident, there's still more to go. All right, so to avoid all those delays, I'm going to talk to you about the 4 phases of your post-filing journey, the post-filing roadmap. This will allow you to be prepared for whatever is coming. Make sure you're paying attention to your mail. USCIS does communicate through mail. So the first thing that happens once you file the first 30 days, you're going to get your initial response. That's your receipt notice, okay? If your case was packaged according to the easy method, you assembled the key documents and you were able to sign and verify everything correctly, you should not get a rejection, okay? Your case will be received and accepted and you get a receipt notice. So that usually happens within the first few days. So just max 30 days. If it's taking more than 30 days, which sometimes it can, you may want to check with USPS, make sure everything was properly delivered. Because one of the things that I taught in yesterday's lesson was making sure, maybe that was day 3, making sure you have the proper tracking methods for your filing. Okay, everything is filed by mail. If you're not tracking, that could get lost in the mail. That happens. All right. Sometimes they send you your green card, it gets lost in the mail. So if you're not tracking, you don't know where things are. So make sure you're checking that out the first 30 days. And then the next 31 to 60 days will be the processing phase. You're going to likely get your biometrics notice because now it's time for you to come on in and get your fingerprints taken. Okay. If you want a work permit, you'll most likely be getting that biometrics within those first 60 days. All right, so give me a comment, say something, say yes if you currently are waiting for your work permit. Just say yes. Are you waiting for your work permit right now, or did you not apply for a work permit? Because even though you didn't apply for a work permit, if you're trying to adjust, they're still going to ask for your fingerprints, but those who apply for a work permit will be getting it in those few weeks after they get their fingerprints. So just say something in the comments. Let's know what phase you're at. Yes. Give me a thumbs up, anything that you feel like today. I hope you all are happy that it's Friday. I know I'm excited to be done with the week, especially after the challenge. It's been very busy for me and my team, just putting everything together. So thankful that today is the final day, and I hope that you all have been getting some value and actually implementing all the stuff that we're teaching. Okay. All right. So the next thing you would expect is your work authorization. Like I said, after your fingerprints are taken, you get your EAD. There's nothing extra you have to do about that. You just have to actually apply for it. Okay, some people put in the I-485 only and think they're going to get their work permit, but that doesn't work that way. You need to actually apply for it. There's a form for it. Okay, that's where the S step is very important. You need to verify that you have all the forms in the correct edition, right? Signed correctly so that you can get the benefit that you actually qualify for versus leaving stuff out that would just be a rejection or straight denial. Okay, so you get employment authorization. Then you start to wait for the approval, the final approval for your case. In 2025, though, you'll start to wait for your interview because that's going to happen. An officer confirmed to me that they're no longer waiving interviews. It's now policy to call everyone, including those people filing for their parents, which I think is a little silly, but that's the new thing they're doing. Because with parents, if you're filing for your parent, I mean, the proof of relationship is usually your birth certificate and perhaps other pictures and things of you all doing stuff together. But it's different from marriage because there's no fake parenthood, right? I don't know. So, but they've been calling for interviews for every family-based application. So just be prepared, right? There's nothing to worry about there. I think they just want to see people. It's mostly about the admissibility at this point. I think that's where they're heading, just trying to see how all of these non-immigrants qualify for the visa or the green card or whatever, whether they violated their immigration status, whether they've committed a crime, those types of things. That's why they're calling for interviews now. So nothing to worry about, but it is something that will come up after you get your work permits. You'll be waiting for the approval and the next phase, right? For many of you, the next phase will depend on what type of green card you have, whether you have a 2-year green card or a 10-year green card. You'll then basically plan for that. So at this point of the training, you have any questions about what's coming next for you? Haven't seen any comments yet about where you are in your phase. Let me refresh this because sometimes it's just a bit slow for the comments here, but I know that you all are here and you're getting some value. Just share it with your friends. And if you missed this live, if you're watching the replay, you can just catch the evening VIP session. The link is going to be in the comments for those of you who want to join. Just type in #VIP and we'll send you the link. Okay. All right. So we'll just move on to the next stuff since there are no questions right now. And I'm going to give you a little vision assignment. This is something I've just added in all the days, all the training days, just so you can imagine your peace of mind. This is a great exercise to help you understand why you're actually doing this, right? And to help you understand that the stress that you're going through right now is not even necessary. So just imagine your peace of mind, what's possible, if there's a clear plan of what could happen next. Instead of constantly checking your USCIS account, you already know that the next phase is your fingerprints. You have complete clarity, you're confident, you know what to expect, and you're taking proactive steps so that you don't miss out on any important dates. Okay? Your main focus is to build your new life in America with security. So you're doing all of this with that clear plan. Without a clear plan, you're just living in anxiety, in freeze mode, and ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, so make sure you're creating your 90-day plan and sticking to it and having faith, trusting the process that everything is going to work out for you as it's supposed to. Okay, seeing some comments here. I have different screens in front of me, but those of you on the Facebook group, you can see my screen right now. You can see what I'm sharing with you in the group, and you likely have access to the workbook. If you don't, let me know in the comments. But if you're watching outside of the Facebook group, I encourage you to join the Facebook group so you know more about our trainings. All the training materials and replays will be in the group. So make sure you join that to watch it after today if you missed this time that we're live. It's 12:30 p.m. Eastern time for this live, but today is day 5, so it was the last day anyway. But next time we're gonna host another session. So once you're in the group, you get notified about that as well. Okay. All right. Common post filing mistakes. Many applicants still struggle, even though they get through the hardest part, they still struggle because they don't have this plan that I'm going to teach you all today. They don't know how to prepare for whatever could come next. It could even be a missing package. You still need to have a strategy for that. So if you're not tracking delivery confirmation, right, there's a chance that your case could still be somehow lost and you wouldn't even know about it. Right, you didn't realize you haven't even received your receipt notice because you're not tracking. So tracking is very important. Make sure you're getting everything together that you need. Okay. All right. So if you're not responding to RFEs because maybe you didn't update your address, that's another thing that you have to do with tracking and making sure you have the right address at all the time, and so that you don't miss out on responding to an RFE. Because if you do, you get denied straight away. If you don't prepare properly for biometrics, could also be a problem, just causing delays. And remember, the purpose of this training is to teach you how to avoid delays and denials and to succeed in your green card journey, right? This is why we created this easy method. So all of these things are all important. They all play a part in making sure that you succeed at the end of the day, because it's going to take a year or 2 years. You're going to be waiting for quite a while. So instead of waiting and panicking and getting advice from random TikTok videos or just your friends who went through the process, you're going to have a clear plan. You're going to have peace of mind. You know exactly what's coming next, what to expect, and you just keep on living your life, because that's the goal. I want my clients to be happy. Live your life, because green card is just one part of life. There's so much here. You have your family that you're building, the reason why you came here in the first place. So you're going to focus on that. That's what I want to see. So don't wait too long. Don't let your immigration case fall through the cracks. You can take control through the power of the 90-day plan. Okay. And towards the end of this training, I'm going to introduce our green card fast track package, which will help you with all of these things. Because I know life does happen. You're out here building an empire, you have children, you're doing things. But in my practice, we've created a system to help our clients stay on top of their case, even after they've gotten their green card. Like I said, if you have a 2-year green card, you need to do a removal of conditions. You need to apply for your citizenship. So it's not over until it's over. So we have a strategy for that. I'm going to tell you all about that service towards the end. But right now, you can monitor your case if you're following this method, and you can prepare for your RFE before it arrives if you're going to take some notes today and actually use some of these things I'm going to teach you. So go on the USCIS website right now if you're watching and search up USCIS case status tracker. That's one way you can do it. I have other ways, other easier ways, but the very basic way for those of you who don't have apps or have any means, or you're not computer savvy or whatever, the most basic way to track your case is to track on the USCIS website with your receipt notice. But if you don't have your receipt notice, you need to contact USPS, FedEx, whoever sent it out for you. Make sure you have your tracking number and your receipts so we can find out. Because if you get denied, let's say for an RFE that was never received, once you have evidence of all your mailing and tracking numbers and everything, you can still get that case reopened without consequences because you actually did your part and it just didn't work out. But if you're not keeping track, if you're not following the 90-day plan, you won't even realize USCIS didn't even get it. Okay, and that will just be the problem for you. So following this plan, you can be prepared. You can enter your interview fully prepared. I already talked about the phases, so I'll kind of just skip through this a little bit. But the first phase, which is basically getting a receipt notice, has a lot to do with the tracking, making sure you had everything initially, and making sure your credit card, if you're using a credit card, making sure it has all the funds in there. That's very important, because if they try to charge for that credit card and you don't authorize the charge, or you don't have enough money in there, you'll still get denied. So make sure you're tracking, setting up your USCIS accounts if you want to track on USCIS websites. For my clients, we use a different app to actually track. This is much quicker, I'd say, than USCIS website, because you get an email immediately there's a change. With USCIS websites, I believe you have to have the USCIS account. You may get an email. They're doing better now, but the app that I have, I think, is just quicker. The way that I get the notices about what's going on, plus the details as well. Sometimes the USCIS website may not have all the details. You probably have to call Emma or someone. I think we're going to even discuss how to use Emma during this training, because the point is for you to be empowered. Whether you have an attorney or not, you need to know this stuff. My clients working with me, I empower them all the time by training them and teaching them how to be independent and do this stuff. Because at the end of the day, you have to take ownership of your green card application, regardless of what's going on. Make sure you know what people are submitting for you. I get these excuses sometimes when people are caught misrepresenting on their B1, B2 visas. They always talk about how it was the agent or somebody else who applied for their visa who did it. I'm like, well, but it was your application. There's no way an agent will submit something for you that you're not going to read. So make sure you are reading everything you're submitting, keeping track of your documents, and making sure that during the processing period, if anything else is requested, the USCIS is going to get a response. Okay. So attend your biometrics, track your work permit, understand the advanced parole considerations. Advanced parole is for those who qualify for adjustment. If you're applying for I-485, you'll be able to travel back home temporarily while the I-485 is pending, because, like I said, it takes about a year plus to get a decision. Within that time, lots could happen, and you might need to go back home. So instead of just going back home without the advanced parole, you should get that, because if you go back home without the advanced parole, you'll likely just get denied, because I think it basically triggers an abandonment or your I-485. So don't do that. Okay. Yeah. So in phase 2, we're monitoring, preparing just in case, especially if you knew that you submitted insufficient evidence the first time. You're expecting an RFE. That's not the best strategy. Sometimes it's necessary. It's the only thing we can do, especially in cases where there's been abuse, or if it's asylum, cases like that, where it's just difficult to get lots of evidence initially. You could potentially just do that. But for the most part, for marriage-based applications, family-based applications, if you send in incomplete documents, they could deny your case straight up, like no RFEs, no NOIDs, nothing. Okay, I had someone yesterday on the VIP session actually talk about that. He's currently facing a denied I-485 because there wasn't sufficient financial income, or financial documents rather, for his spouse, right? The US citizen needs to show that they actually can sponsor financially. And he didn't add W-2s or something, he only added tax returns or whatever. And the stuff got denied for that. I was like, wow, that officer was definitely not playing, because that's something small they could have just sent an RFE for, but they just felt like they didn't want to do that. So that's why he got denied. And now he has to do a motion to reopen, which is more expenses, more time. I mean, all of that. So that's what I want to avoid here, making sure that we are prepared for the decision, prepared for what's coming next here. And if it's an approval, yay, you move on with your life. If it's an RFE, you need a strategy. So create a strategy by speaking with an attorney. I don't know why some people, and I hear this story a lot, even if they're working with attorneys, they'll get RFEs and then just respond, because you don't understand that RFE is actually your second chance to do it right. So why would you just send anything without any thought? You need to have a strategy. You need to read that document that they sent you, that letter they sent you, read that very well, because there's always stuff between the lines that you may not be able to catch. If you don't respond properly, that was your chance, they'll still deny you. So make sure you have your strategy for responding to RFEs. And also, in case you get called back for another interview, make sure you prepare. Stokes interview is a thing. I had a client, I think that testimony is actually in today's topics, who I went to his interview in New York. It was a Stokes interview. This was his third interview as well. So his green card had been pending for 2+ years at the time when he hired me. He filed on his own. He tried his best, and yeah, he got called for another interview. So just getting called for your first interview might not be the only thing that happens. You may still get called for another interview before you get approved. So be prepared for that. All right. Make sure you're still building evidence of bona fide relationship, still living together. And if the marriage starts to go left, then prepare for that as well, because that's another thing that could also happen. Marriages do have ups and downs, right? You can't really predict in the next 2 years or 3 years or whatever that the marriage will still be good. Don't lose hope, because just because the marriage went bad doesn't mean that you won't get approved anymore. So staying connected with an attorney will give you that peace of mind and keep you aware of what's needed moving forward. Okay. All right. We have a few more minutes here on this live session. I really want us to talk more in the VIP session. I think that's more intimate and just more chill. I know I really enjoyed it yesterday. So I'll go through the rest of the stuff we have for today, talk to you about the green card fast track package in the next 15 minutes or so. And whatever we don't cover today or this morning, we'll cover it at the VIP session this evening. Right. So tune in for that. And the link will be in the comments if you're on the Facebook group. Okay. Okay. Approvals and next steps. So now let's talk about this client, right? That's the Stokes interview client I talked about. I can't really see this stuff so much, but if y'all can see, that's his Google review. He was very happy after he got approved at the Stokes interview. I mean, it was 6 hours. It was, OMG. I was still a new lawyer at the time, so I didn't really expect that. I had been to other interviews, just regular interviews, but not a Stokes interview where they're separated, where the officer is just so detailed and strict and OMG. So we went through what we prepared. He hired me for interview prep and attendance. So we prepared. I flew over to New York and met him and his wife. That was the first time ever meeting them in person. A lot of my stuff we do virtually. Law firm is virtually, based so we can serve clients nationwide, right? So met them for the first time. We prepared again, right? And went in, and whatever she was asking, I was just there. Obviously, I can't answer the questions for clients, but I can guide the client to make sure that they're not confused about what needs to be said, how it needs to be said, having the officer rephrase stuff. So yeah, all the years of waiting, 3 years probably in total, because he filed, 2018, and this was 2021, I guess. I think that's like 2 years, yeah, or 3 years, really. I don't know, but long time, Sha. Long story short, if you prepare, if you have the right strategy, you can succeed. All right, you can. We'll just skip through all of this because I already told you all about his story. That's just more stuff about this client. But today will be the day for you to take action, because the 90-day planning for your success after you file it matters, because if your case was weak or there's just some gaps, or like I said, your marriage falls apart, you need to prepare on what you're going to do next. So that's why it matters to have this plan, right? And at this stage, let's see what we have here, because I just want to go through the important things I know you all want to get through. There's a lot of client testimony here, which we'll get through right now. Well, let's go to how to create your 90-day plan. Yep, that part is juicy. So if you have a piece of paper, or if you have the workbook right now, you can take that out and begin to take notes, because this is a part that you're going to need for the next few years, really. Once you do this exercise, you can use that to refer to whatever dates it is that you need, whatever it is that you need for the next few days. I used to tell my clients in the past, I learned this in law school actually, just create a little box I don't know how I learned this in law school, but I think my professor mentioned it or something. But just always have a box, right, in your house that you're just gonna throw things into that box. When you will have a birthday or have any type of event, just write down something or take one picture from that event and throw it in there, because we're gonna have a record of things happening over time. And when it's time to actually submit an RFE or even for the interview, if you're needing to take any more evidence over there, you have all those little evidence representing that day, because you don't need a shit ton of pictures. You just need the ones that make sense. Okay. So for the first step in creating a 90-day plan, you need to identify your case type and your field office. Okay. You need to know this because this will help you to know what the typical processing time for this type of case and the location, where it's at. That's the first step. All right. Once you're able to do this and create that baseline expectation, what the timeline usually is, you're going to go ahead and have a calendar to mark the dates when you filed and the dates when that potential approval will be. So if they tell you that 80% of the cases, that's usually how they say it, will be approved in 12 months or 15 months, whatever. From today, you can mark 15 months into the future as your baseline. We're just trying to create that baseline first, okay? Because if you don't know the baseline, after 3 months of waiting, you start getting calls and start getting freaked out. We get calls from people, so what's going on with my case? I'm like, sweetie, nothing. You're just going to get your work permit and you're going to wait. It takes a while. Just be happy to get your work permit in those 90 days or less. And that's what you need, the first thing that you need to actually start succeeding in the US. So have that baseline together and mark on your calendars important dates. Know when you're going to need to remove conditions. Let's just say you have your 2-year green card already. Because like I said, this plan does apply to you if you don't have your citizenship yet. So if you have your 2-year green card, you're still going to create that timeline. Are you going to mark on your calendar the dates, important dates, and also create a plan for your RFE in case there's something that you already know they may ask for, maybe most recently filed taxes because you didn't submit that because you hadn't filed, right? So prepare for that. Start putting together everything that you know joint sponsor or sponsor needs. That's one way to save time so that whenever you get that RFE, you may or may not get it, but whenever you get the RFE, you'll be prepared. Like I said, have your box of evidence where you're just going to throw things in so that you can always supplement your proof of relationship and be able to get access to all of these resources quickly. And the best part is also getting professional help, because that's really, I think, the biggest thing here. Because if you're just trying to respond to a USCIS letter with your own knowledge, you're not really sure if you're sending them exactly what they want. And that's your last chance, like I said. So if you felt confident the first time DIYing your stuff, why would you, on the second chance, getting an RFE, knowing that that first step was insufficient, do that again? Like, it's like doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Like, make it make sense. It doesn't. So if you get an RFE, get an NOID, seek professional assistance to understand what the RFE is asking for, making sure there's a plan to respond. You know exactly when it's going to be due, right? Because if you miss the due dates, that's another problem. Denial. We're trying to avoid denials here, guys. So make sure you're keeping up with that. And step 4, you're going to practice for your interview, prepare more documents, and plan for your interview day. For those of you who are still in that initial stage, you haven't gotten your interview yet. So if you got your interview and you're not sure if you get called for another one because it's been 90 days and you still haven't gotten approved, plan for a Stokes interview, all right? Because maybe you might get called for another one. So with that being said, and having all of these things in mind, you should be ready for success as an immigrant. Have all your dates together, all your reminders, and you have your checklist, you've prepared. You should be ready for your approval with no issues. Okay? The best thing, or the best advice I can give you once you've gotten your green card is to make sure that you are staying in line with all the laws of your state, or not getting in trouble, just not getting arrested. Because as a permanent resident, you can still get deported. Just being a permanent resident alone is not sufficient to protect you from all the other, as you can see in 2025, they're just detaining permanent residents up and down. So make sure you're staying in compliance with everything once you become a permanent resident, and plan for what's next, plan for your citizenship. Understand that you need to remove conditions. If you don't, that your 2-year green card is going to get denied. So know all these different little requirements about your status, where you're at. I don't think any of you responded about being on your EAD phase or your work permit phase. I'm curious to know exactly where you're at, though. Have you not started? Those of you who are watching right now. Maybe you haven't started, which is still great, because I think if you haven't started and you're getting this training, you're in the best spot, because now you know that you're going to follow the easy method to get maximum success. Start with your FOIA search. That takes around 30 days to get back, sometimes quicker. Once you get your immigration history and you don't see any red flags, you can go ahead and assemble the right documents that are required based on what you found. If you found some red flags, then your documents will reflect whatever it needs to show for you to get forgiveness for that. So let's say there was a misrep, and you may not be able to read your FIR results, which is why I'm going to encourage you to reach out to a professional. And the program that I'll be sharing with you all towards in the next 5 minutes, really, we're going to talk about getting your FOIA search done. That's part of what we do here. So let me just roll over to that one, because we still have lots of material here, but I know that you all have the complete easy system right now, because I just went over all the 4 steps for that. So you have that right now. So I'm just going to tell you quickly about the Green Card Fast Track program. I'll tell you more about it in the VIP session. So comment #VIP if you want a chance to actually participate in this program today. You'll get a chance at the VIP session. Okay, so the Green Card Fast Track program is something that I'm offering for you all who are attending this 5-day program. If you're here, you've been learning for the past 5 days, I'm offering this program to you because I know you're already halfway to succeeding by learning everything that we've talked about today. So in this program, we're offering you different types of services. You can choose your service level, right? In whatever service you choose, you'll most likely be getting access to the Green Card Success Blueprint, which contains everything that you need to know about your green card application, from your checklist to your templates to other resources that's going to make it easy for you to understand exactly what's needed for that phase. So that's part of our services. You also have attorney review. I'm here as a lead attorney at my law firm, helping you make sure that whatever you're submitting is accurate. So I'm going through the easy method as well as I'm looking through your documents. I'm going to make sure you have that FOIA search done and that you have all the key documents. And then I'm providing additional attorney review. So don't rely on your own knowledge when you haven't submitted as many green card applications as you can to learn this stuff. Okay, I've been doing this for over half a decade. I've seen different applications. I know exactly what to look for, the red flags. So you're going to be getting your document checklist. You're going to get access to our Facebook group of over 28,000 people. You're going to get that FOIA review and other personalized support with our legal team and our case support team. There's just a lot that we do here. Plus, the biggest thing I believe many of you would appreciate is immigration compliance reminders. If you're part of our community, part of our clients, we help you remember, make sure that you're not missing out on getting your citizenship or whatever it is that's coming next. If you have a due date or something else, if you're part of our community, you get that service as well. So it's the easy method, but we help you do it so you don't have to deal with all of that paperwork or all the time and effort that it takes to actually get a green card. So those of you on the group, you can see my screen, you can see the service packages, you can choose your own support level. The Essentials Foundations package is for confident filers who just need some guided support. Perhaps you're not able to qualify for a full service right now and you really just want that guided support. You can take advantage of our Essential Foundations package. And for those of you who really need help because you have a red flag or there's just something going on in your case that you're not sure you can do this on your own, we have the Advanced Care package, which also includes interview coaching. Okay, this is the Done With You package that we offer to our clients to help them from beginning to the end with putting together the forms, filing those forms, and also monitoring the forms. So we offer all these things within that package, including your FOIA search. So that's standard. Every case we're working on is getting that search because we don't want to be blindsided. We don't want you to be blindsided. So we're going to do that search first and make sure that you actually are on the right track for success. So if you are in this training right now, you're going to be getting an email from me with information on how to actually lock in one of the service packages. Because I know from what I've seen yesterday, even in the VIP session, I know that you all are needing that guided support. So whatever level of expertise that you're needing here, we've got that. And if you're not ready to move forward, we also have our consultations. You can comment lawyer and I will send you a link to book a consultation with me so we can determine what kind of package that you fit into. The Advanced Care package is obviously the better package because you get that full representation with your service from A to Z. But some people have relatively easy cases. There are no red flags, no violations, no criminal records, and nothing of the sort that makes them concerned, and so they can go with the Essentials package. So whichever one works for you, works for me. Okay, so here are some special bonuses I'm offering for fast action takers today. Today only, you can have our paying full bonus, which is priority processing for 2 weeks at the max 7 days, basically, to prepare your package, file it, and you should be getting your receipt notice within the next week. So 2 weeks processing time. We have the mock interview coaching with me, and you also get access to 2 strategy sessions with me for case updates and one-on-one conversations about your case while it is pending, right? In all of this, you're still having access to the legal team and everything else that comes with all the packages. But today's special is really for those who are ready to go right now and are ready to take that action today. So you're getting the links in your email, those of you who opted in to get this. And keep in mind, this is only available during this challenge period. So check your emails and your SMS so you don't miss out on everything I'm going to send you after today's session, right? We have 2 more minutes and it's going to be a 45-minute live today. It's usually 45 minutes. I always say 30 in the beginning, but there's just a lot to go through. So I hope you all have gotten some value today and you're ready to take action on your immigration journey. Like I said, you are basically, this is your case, right? You need to take ownership. You are basically going to enjoy the benefits if you take the right action right now. It's really for you. So if you value yourself, value your family, value your time, and you're ready to actually start enjoying the benefits of living here, moving over here. I mean, what was the point of all of it? How did you even find yourself here? How are you in this relationship? How are you here trying to do all of this? Think about your why, and that will allow you to get on the path to approval. So this is your moment, y'all. You don't get another chance. Now is the only time that you have. Tomorrow is not guaranteed for anyone. So this is your moment. Don't waste your moment. Take the chance now. Sign up for our Green Card Fast Track program, and you will find that this is going to be a lot easier than you ever imagined. Just know that the system, the government is really not not built for you. They're not out here trying to help you. So you might go on the USCIS website, find some information, file that. That's all well and good, but it's still going to be confusing. They're not trying to make things easy for you here because they want you to make mistakes. They want you to pay them extra money for filing and refiling and just wasting your time and then being out of status, maybe getting placed in removal. Like, it's just ridiculous what happens when you don't actually take action and go for all the things that you actually qualify for. Okay? So you are no longer alone. You've watched this training for the past 5 days. You're ready. You're serious. You're taking your life by the horns. Okay? I'm happy for you all. Comment, I'm all in if you're ready to take part of this new program that I'm offering you today. Comment, I'm all in, and I'll send you the information that you need. In case you're not in the Facebook group or you're not seeing the links or you're not getting the emails, just comment and I'll make sure you get everything that you need. Okay, it's been great today. Thank you all again for being here today. I've enjoyed teaching. I've enjoyed having you all. Just this whole process has really been a learning process for me as well. Just knowing how to train you all in my community to be empowered, and for my team who has helped me being by my side this past 5 days, thank you very much. You don't know how excited I am just to have all of this. It's something that I've been wanting to put together for a very long time, but now it's all clear to me, and I think that you all are getting all that value. So I want to address your questions in the comments while we wrap up. So feel free to drop your questions and share your biggest concerns about filing, and I'll address those as we wait for the VIP session. I'll see you there on Zoom tonight, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So come with your questions, come excited, and also ready to take action on your green card success. It's been real. Have a wonderful day, and TGIF. Bye.